Welcome back to some more DBD news. My name is Wolfyowns, and we have a lot to talk about. This is where we talk about all of the special and new things coming to Dead by Daylight. Alright, so first off, I do want to talk about why we haven't had news in a while. It's because there hasn't been anything to talk about. Now, I watch them all the time, and there hasn't been anything special to really make news about, and I'm sorry, but there just hasn't been anything really that important. But anyways, starting off the dev stream, we are going to talk about a special tournament that they're going to have coming up this weekend. I want you guys to know about this, so we're going to watch it and talk about it afterwards.
Shout out this weekend. There's going to be a big tournament. It's a duo tournament organized by ADV4U, and it is mainly a Germany issued tournament. And we will announce more detail on Twitter, of course, and
so follow that if
we're gonna host the tournament on our Dead by Daylight channel.
There's a lot of people participating in this one, right?
It is one of our biggest one, yes.
Excellent.
Up to date. So, you guys go check that out.
I will.
Yes.
Now that sounds pretty cool. We're going to end up having a tournament this weekend. That sounds pretty awesome. Maybe some of you guys probably already knew and got in on it. I don't know. Maybe you can still get in on it. But it'd be awesome. Maybe you could win some free skins. That would be really awesome. Who knows? I just know some tournaments are pretty awesome. I had a tournament at one point for fun, for lols, and it was a lot of fun. But anyways, we're going to move on to the second part of the dev stream, where we talk about the blood web changes, because I think some of you know the blood web has changed, so let's listen in.
It's true, the blood web changes, and it's mostly how much more pleasant I think it is to use. Oh, is there someone trying to open the door?
No, I think it's just wind.
So we had a patch come in a little while ago, but the blood web changes sort of went under the radar, but I think they are actually, they make everything much smoother, and it's a lot nicer, faster for sure, but also just the fact that you're not paying 8,000 for, a common thing that's on the outer ring.
Offering 8,000 was
so there's a lot of stuff that got a little, that got a lot better. Smoother, yes, with a D, please. Smoother.
Alright, so that was pretty awesome. There's going to be more talk later on the blood web changes in the video, so look forward to that. But anyways, the blood web changes were really great. It's a lot faster. It's not all clunky and slow like it once was, which is really awesome. I love it. You can also not spend 8K for a common item. Commons are now 3K. Like all items, rarities, their cost is by their rarity. The more rare it is, the more it costs, which is really awesome. I love it. It made it a lot better. I am definitely happy about that. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream is where we're going to talk about bugs, and this part's going to be pretty long, so let's listen in to all these bugs like the insta-blind flashlight and everything else.
this one. Perfect.
So the bloodlust display was incorrect.
Yeah,
that's fixed.
But Bloodlust was working though.
Yeah, it never stopped working. It was purely a UI notification that was wrong. The blinding effect, the flashlight, it was impossible to avoid the flashlight for about 48 hours in the game, which was painful. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, well actually the killers were getting flashlight evasion, but we're still getting the actual blind, so they couldn't see.
Yeah, that's it. So the scoring mechanic in the back was still correct, but the visual didn't work, so we fixed that. The half-second freeze after hooking a survivor, that's a weird one. We tried something. This was not a bug per se. It's really, we needed a way to stop the killer from entering the survivor in the hook, because that caused issues where you could just stay in the survivor, and it created some weird stuff. So we put a little moment there. But the experience was really not fun, so we changed it into a bit of a
it felt like you were lagging or something.
You never want to lose control, so we changed that. The one perk appearing in the blood web, that's fixed also. Kindred not appearing in the HUD, another issue that was fixed. And the placeholder text for some of the nightmare add-ons, that's also been fixed. So that was the latest patch.
Okay, so basically right here they fixed a lot of bugs, and that's basically was the main thing here. They did fix the flashlight because the flashlight blinded you no matter what you did. Even if you avoided it, you got blinded, which really sucked. And they also tried out a new thing to block you from going in survivors that you hooked, which made it look like you lagged a little bit, but you weren't really lagging. And they fixed that. It was kind of a visual bug, but it wasn't a bug. Also in the news, you guys really like to report your players, report cheaters, you report exploiters, so we're going to have a more updated way to report those players. So let's listen in.
Player reports to the mods.
So basically, if you wanted to report a specific incident with proof, our system was to add a mod on Steam and then one-on-one talking to the mod, sending the proof and everything. Now we are introducing a better system. So there's going to be a form, like a web form that you fill in. You put all the information in there. You don't have to contact one mod specifically. I will change the official forum post for it to give you guys the link to the form, and every mod on their profile are gonna have the link also. But you won't have. Is that on now? It's gonna be on after the. I'm waiting for Sujan's.
So today-ish.
Yes, today-ish.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely. So it's gonna be way easier for mods and for players to do so.
Woo-wee! Alright, so now we have a more effective way to report players to the devs, to the mods, which is really good. And you also have to provide proof. I want to let you guys know right now, if you do not have proof, this will not work. So make sure you do have proof before you report someone. It's the only way this is going to work. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream, what new stuff is coming to Dead by Daylight? You guys want to know? What about the Wraith buff? What about all this new stuff? What about the events? Well, guess what? The devs have it all here just for you. So guess what? We're going to listen in.
This is, again, a very loose order in which things are going to come.
But we know the Wraith update
the next big update is going to be, obviously, the Wraith update. The PTB and the winter events might be kind of in between-ish at the same time. We don't know exactly.
Just quickly, the ambulance system, for those of you just joining us right now, the ambulance system is a rework of the scoring and the way you are judged at the end of the match. We have a few questions in the Q&A about that, but the idea is that it's going to be different categories that are that have an equivalent on the other side. So if you're doing very well as a survivor, probably that's going to eat away at some points on the killer side, and it's going to be much more dynamic. Anyway, I'll get into a few more details when we get to the Q&A, but that's the emblem system.
Yes. So basically, new point system.
Yeah, and PTB also, for the people who don't know, that's the public test build.
Yes. Yeah. And basically it means that you are going to have access to what we want to implement as the patch, and you can give us your feedback, and then we can adjust a couple of things if needed, and then we're going to push the patch to everybody. So
yes, the Wraith buffs are coming. The Wraith cube is almost here, guys. We just have to wait a little bit longer, but it is almost here. And also, the new point system is coming. That's going to be the new way how we get points, how we earn points. That is going to change the game quite a bit, which is a big deal. So, I do want to say this. If you're going to go play on the PTB, which I think you should because we need to test this out because it's going to change the game completely on how you get your points. But I do want to say, if you're going to go play on the PTB, please, and I mean please, go there with the intent to test things and not be a try-hard son of a bitch. Because there are players that go on the PTB with Moris every game, the most try-hard build, and literally you're going to ruin the game because you're not there to test it. You're only there to troll around and show how great you are in a PTB, which doesn't matter whatsoever. You can't get ranked, you don't keep anything. Go there with intentions to test, because that's going to come to the real game, and that's going to make a big, big difference on the game. Because giving our feedback is a really big deal, and to even prove it, we have a clip here about the feedback we gave.
really want to make sure that we...
Talking about feedback, so last week we promised a Wraith mega thread on Steam forums, and actually you guys participated a lot, and it was great. There was good suggestions. Just a detail, actually the design team took the time to read every comment, and they were really happy with the feedback. So I think that's something that we might want to continue doing. Yeah, doing again. So
good.
Here it is. Grats. And
New
most of
ways.
you stayed pretty positive and nice in the comments.
But even when, I mean, we understand that this game will always create lots of intense reactions, whether they're positive or negative. That's sort of part of the game. We created a game that triggers people, you know, so we expect a strong reaction, but it's really, really cool that we have a new channel of communication so that we can actually get more feedback and hopefully make a game that you enjoy more. I'm just...
And I just want to...
No, yeah. I'm not pushing you. It's fine.
And I'm telling you that actually the design team took time to read everything, so that's a great thing. Thank you for your comments.
Woo, boy, you guys are amazing. Bravo to all of you guys. Bravo, because I am very proud that a lot of you guys actually went and gave the devs creative feedback. You guys actually went, like after the Wraith buffs that they talked about, you guys actually went and gave them feedback. I am very proud of you guys. You guys didn't just go and be like, oh, your game sucks, oh, this game's gonna die and stuff. You guys weren't toxic. You guys actually went and gave them creative feedback that they can actually use. So I am definitely very happy and proud with you guys, because that's what they need. They need feedback. They don't need to hear, oh, this game sucks, oh, you're making the game die. Like, they actually need feedback. That's actually a really big deal, because it helps change the game. We are molding this game together, and that's a big deal. I am very proud of you guys. You guys did a great job, and keep doing it. You guys are amazing. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we have a lot more bugs here to discuss and show you, so let's just jump into it.
These bugs right now that you see on the slide are being tested internally. So basically, someone fixed it internally, and we're testing it right now to make sure that it's not
breaking something else, so that it's actually fulfilling its.
So these are being tested right now. The fixes for these issues are being tested right now.
There you go.
So that's interesting.
Next one is.
So we're not gonna list them all. That's the new way
that
we're gonna do, because you guys can read it. You can go back on it. There's gonna be summaries after. And for the last one, these are bugs that we're aware of. Maybe that we need more information. Maybe that design needs to have a look at it and see, okay, well, was that intended? What do we want to do with this? So basically, these, we know about it. We're gonna try to work on it, of course, but sometimes we're gonna need more information from you guys and logs and stuff like that. So all these are gonna be specified when we need something from you. And just a note here, Mist and Offerings is up there because yes, we had optimization. It changed a bit how the Mist was behaving, and now we have to have a decision over on the design side. What do we do with this?
Yeah.
So that's where we are for this one.
But it helped the performance.
Yes.
So that's the good news. That's why it was put in. That's where the decision came from.
Woo! Those were a lot of bugs that are getting worked on, that are being looked at and being fixed, and that is really important, because having bugs get fixed actually makes the game more fun. But then again, if you think about it, some bugs aren't that big of a deal, because, well, I mean, they are a big deal, but like they make the game funny, which is really, really good. So, you know, when a bug happens, we all like to get our good laughs out of it. But it's really good when they actually fix the bugs and actually make the game better. That's actually good, because it means the game is improving and actually is going to live longer, which is really nice. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream, we are going to talk about the changes to the dailies, because I'm pretty sure by now you've realized the dailies have changed. So let's listen in.
So what was the motivation behind keeping this to smaller daily rewards?
So the idea behind that is that we want the daily to be something that you can complete with a low amount of efforts and that you can do every day. Now, for some players that wasn't an issue. They were able to just complete complex dailies, which could take time, several games sometimes, in one day. For some others, that was more complex just because they are either less skilled in the game or simply they have less time. So this is the population we want to target and make it so dailies are more like attractive to them because they used to have more of a hard time to actually complete them. So that's the main idea behind it, engaging more players to do dailies. Now, 1 week later, we know that it's not a very popular change, and we know that some of you complain about that. So we are hearing you, we're reading the comments, we know how you feel, and that's something we are talking about a lot. So nothing is set in stone. What we want to do is make it so everyone engage more easily in the dailies, and that's why we are closely looking at the data. How many people are actually completing them? Do they come back more often? Is it a change which actually makes them more enthusiastic in coming back to the game? So that's the thing that we are currently looking at. But we are also aware that it's not something everyone is happy with, and we are like reading your comments. So this is something that we are going to keep working on and keep monitoring in the
Please
next
keep
weeks.
the constructive feedback coming.
Yes.
We are paying attention.
Yes.
Alrighty, so basically the dailies were changed to help players get them done a lot easier, to get them done, because let's be honest here, some dailies were insane, and I literally mean insane. Like getting 15 blink hits on Hag, mostly because a lot of those blink hits do not actually register. You could get like 10, 15 blink hits in a game, and it will only ever count like 2 or 3, which is extremely frustrating and annoying. It did make it a lot easier though, which means the blood points we get in return have to be lowered, but we are still getting the same amount for the same amount of work in progress. So it's really good that we're getting these changes to the dailies, and they heard our feedback, so maybe the dailies will get changed again, who knows, but definitely keep giving feedback. That's a really big deal, as I have said. Now, moving on to the next part of the dev stream. Do you guys miss your ultra rare perks, your pink or red perks? Do you guys miss those? Because I know I miss them, and we might get them back, who knows? Let's listen in.
Will we ever see ultra rare and common perks make a return?
Yes, okay. So we are talking about how to make perks progression more appealing and more interesting. So there are a lot of options on the table at the moment. Making common and ultra rare return at this point, I'm not sure that's going to help us much. Because that's going to bring more variety in the perks you can get, but ultimately right now the perks rarity is not necessarily representative of what they do. You have perks which end up being rare and which are super good, and some others which end up being very rare. So we want to have a better look at what rarity means when it comes to perk, and then rework it accordingly.
All right, fair enough.
So this basically means ultra rare perks are not going to be coming right now at this moment, but we do have some hope at they're looking at rarities and how rarities should be and how they should affect perks. Plus it also means that if you're a higher prestige, it's a lot harder to get more common perks, and that really sucked when you really want to get this certain common perk. But I think that's actually a good fair trade-off for prestiging, because you actually get more rare stuff and more rare items. So it kind of makes sense. But I am definitely looking forward to some perk changes. That's going to be pretty awesome. Now moving on to the next part of the dev stream. We're pretty much at the end, but I wanted to show you guys this. I think this was pretty awesome.
Oh.
That's
Come,
amazing.
this is amazing. So this is someone very excited to get the Wraith cube. And once again, skipping leg day.
Yes.
Obviously. Yeah, no, this is brilliant. It is now my my
Screensaver?
no, my background. I don't have a screensaver. Actually, it's the official screensaver. They sort of overwrote our screensavers. It's your fault. Then
The Wraith is working out for us, guys. He's working. Okay, I can't stop laughing. He's working out. He's getting buffed up for us, guys. I cannot wait for that. I thought that was really funny. I normally do not show the artwork because that's not really, like, a part that I really am interested in showing. But that was so good that I really wanted to show that. That was really funny. I cannot wait for the race buff, and then the hag buffs after him, and then the nurse cube. I cannot wait, because I actually cannot wait for her to be dealt with because she is so extremely strong. I cannot wait for all of that. But the Wraith is coming up. I cannot wait to play him with his changes. Anyways, that is going to be it for the dev stream, which means that is going to be it for the DBD news for today. Later tonight at 10 o'clock news, do the killers still have feelings? Do they still actually think like humans?
The short answer is yes. Obviously, the transformation or the transfer changed them quite a bit. A lot of them now labor under an intense... they are forced, some of them are forced to do this, some of them are gladly doing this. Probably, you know, Michael Myers didn't change his ways much to fit into the world, but someone like the Hag was broken by the transition. But still, they have their own personalities, they have their own thoughts, they're just under very strict orders to do what they do.
All right.